Here are the top moments from the AEW All Out 2023 Media Scrum. Take a look. Kicking things off with Tony Khan. Regarding the business of All Out, Tony Khan said that preliminary numbers indicate 100,000 plus pay-per-view buys and somewhere in the range of 10,000 tickets sold for a gate north of $800,000. Tony Khan said that CJ Perry had not signed any type of long-term deal, but didn't rule out the possibility of signing her depending on how the story with Miro plays out.
I think it's great to have CJ here. It's not a long-term guaranteed thing or anything, but for at least for tonight, it was great to have her appearing with us.
He also said that Jack Perry is suspended indefinitely following the backstage incident with CM Punk.
He's been suspended indefinitely. I think we've suspended everybody in that investigation and then took further action after that based on what happened and came out of the investigation. But as for Jack, we suspended Jack and, as a participant in an incident backstage, and Jack hasn't been around, but that's all I can say about it. But at the time, we did suspend him, and he hasn't been at AEW since AEW All In backstage in London.
In regards to CM Punk, Tony thanked CM Punk for his contributions to AEW as a wrestler and would not comment when asked if there would be a non-compete period following Punk's termination, noting that he was not a lawyer who would interpret the language of a separation agreement.
I don't want to discuss the terms of the separation in that sense. I think it's best to say, first of all, I very much want to thank CM Punk, Phil, for everything he did for AEW as a wrestler. But I don't think it was an easy decision for anybody on the discipline committee or for the outside counsel or for me to do something like that. But I do think it was the right move. And as far as what's going to happen in the future, I can't speak to that. But I'm not the attorneys who interpret all that language and stuff.
When asked about running WrestleDream on a Sunday against the NFL, Tony Khan said that he would like to avoid running against the NFL if at all possible and called it the most powerful media entity in the world. He said that he felt strongly that WrestleDream this year needed to take place on October 1st to honor the first anniversary of Antonio Inoki's passing. Tony Khan confirmed that he had not renewed Sonny Kiss's contract. He put Kiss over as a great wrestler and a person that he likes a lot, but that he can't keep everyone under contract. He did not rule out Kiss returning at some point, pointing to Stu Grayson as an example of someone who left the company and came back. Now onto the Bryan Danielson portion of the media scrum. Danielson said that Ricky Starks carried him through their match at All Out. He said he thought that Starks was good in the ring before, but that the two had never touched prior to their match, and that Starks is every bit as good as he thought he was. He praised Starks for using his promo on Saturday's Collision to elevate Big Bill.
I had an excellent opponent today. And I think every time people see Ricky Starks, every time Ricky Starks gets an opportunity, he knocks it out of the park. And I will be the first one to say, and this is outside of within our stories and what we do, he carried me through that match tonight. And I'm good at certain things. I'm good at a decent amount of things, and I'm confident in saying that. I can fire up, I can do all these things, but he was the one who carried me through that match. And so that's what I'm gonna say.
Danielson said that he was cleared not only by AEW's medical staff, but by an outside surgeon, implied that the surgeon who performed surgery to repair the broken arm he suffered at Forbidden Door, to return for his match with Ricky Starks. In light of people being concerned for his health, Danielson said he would pull back the curtain and noted that there were lots of smoke and mirrors in the match with Starks to protect Danielson's arm, mentioning that he never threw a strike with his right arm.
I've talked about this before, magicians don't necessarily reveal their secrets, but because we have the best fans in the world here at AEW, and people are legitimately concerned for my safety, so I will pull back the curtain a little bit in this. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors tonight, and I was in no danger whatsoever, other than the regular danger that you could do getting a hip toss, but I didn't even throw a strike with my right arm, and I don't think anybody noticed. And so there are all these things that you can do to avoid, and especially where I'm at in the healing process. And we talked to not just Dr. Sampson, who I love, and he, you know, and we went through every single thing in that with him, but we talked to the surgeon who has no interest. It doesn't matter to him if I wrestle on this pay-per-view or not. Like, he's just giving us his recommendation and to say like, hey, can I do this? What do you think about this? And so all of that was talked through with doctors. So it was like, I felt very comfortable doing it. The company felt very comfortable doing it. Our doctors, outside doctors, felt very comfortable with us doing it. And yeah, here I am, and I feel great.
In speaking about Tony Khan calling him out as being a point person to help run AEW should anything happen to Tony, Danielson said that balancing work and his personal life is something he strives for and that he spends a lot of time thinking about. He said that he would want to help AEW out.
And seeing my kids do the things that they love to do and being there for them, and also being there for my wife, because if any of you are parents or single parents, single parenting is hard. Like, regardless of what you do. And so all of that to say, I've got a lot of thinking to do. It's not like all of that to say is that's not a no. It's a, how do I make this work while still keeping the meaningful things in my life, like the things that I find to be important, putting them as the top priority. So that's really, if you can figure that out, if you can figure out this little jigsaw puzzle or whatever it is of how to balance running a wrestling company with with 2 kids and being able to go to their soccer games, or going to my daughter's dance recitals, or going to any of that kind of stuff. I mean, those are just puzzles to figure out, or sometimes, you know, the pieces don't fit, and then I've had a good run, and it might be time to move on. You know what I mean?
Tony Khan noted that Danielson working Collision on Saturdays would probably be good for his work-life balance. Also, Tony Khan said that Danielson traveled with him for a few weeks and could not keep up with Khan's schedule, and recommended that Khan hire Jimmy Jacobs to travel with him and help keep him organized. Christian Cage spoke entirely in character. The big thing that came out of this is that Cage said that Tony Khan had recently re-signed him to a fat contract. When asked about the possibility of his friend Adam Copeland joining AEW, Christian Cage said that he has no friends besides Luchasaurus.
I only talk about myself and Luchasaurus, and I have no friends other than Luchasaurus. I'll leave it at that.
Adam Cole said he's having the most fun he's had in 15 years in wrestling and is pairing with MJF. He notes that the two were just thrown together and neither thought it would click as well as it has. Cole said that he and MJF are open to facing any tag team on the AEW or Ring of Honor roster in defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Lastly, Statlander put over Orange Cassidy as her best friend and noted that the best friends group with herself, Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and Chuck Taylor are legitimately best friends who travel together and hang out together.
If it weren't for OC, I would not be half the wrestler that I am today. I owe so much of everything I've ever done to him, because sure, we wrestled a few times on the indies and we were friends, but it wasn't until we both came to AEW that we really became best friends. And he always checks on me, I always check on him. We truly have each other's backs. We really are best friends. We travel, we hang out together, and it was emotional walking into that, seeing the state that he's in, seeing what he was about to get himself into. And I think at the end, after everything had went down, all of us, me, Trent, and Chuck, we were all standing in there about to cry, like about to hug him, and we were all like trying to hold back tears. So they'll probably be mad at me for saying that we were all about to cry, but I was about to cry, and we all love him, and we were telling him how much we love him. He's truly best. I'm getting, get it together.
That's a wrap for this episode of The Latest. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.